Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
And this week, James, we are going to be haunting our way into Season 7, Episode 7, Conversations with Dead People.
We will be haunting our way into that episode.
It will be a hauntingly good time.
It will be a hauntingly good time. I'm just going to repeat everything you say for this episode.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think that'll be fun.
We should probably, before we even get into anything else, we should probably, let's do our normal stuff. James, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Everything's good? I'm good.
Good? I couldn't be more terrible. So let's just move on. No, I'm just kidding. Everything's fine and dandy. Living life. Some may even say living La Vida Loca.
Living La Vida Loca.
Women don't know I'm gay, but all the dudes knew it from day one. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's explain to the audience how we are going to proceed with the revisit of this particular episode.
No, fuck them. They can figure it out as we're moving along through it.
Ladies and gentlemen, James does not like you.
So what we're going to do is, because the episode does a lot of jumping around between various parties, so you've got scenes with Buffy and a vampire named Holden, you've got scenes with Willow and the manifestation of Cassie, who we met a couple episodes ago, who then what was, I can't even remember the name of that episode now.
Fuck Me 6 Times Sideways?
Oh yeah, Fuck Me 6 Times Sideways.
Yeah.
No, is the one where she told Buffy she was going to die on Friday, and then Buffy did everything. I don't remember the name of it.
And she still died of some stupid bullshit heart thing that was just stupid.
She died of congenital heart disease. And then
Buffy should have punched through her chest and massaged her heart to get her back, but she didn't.
Right, just give it a little massage, and then all of a sudden.
But she didn't do that because she didn't care, quite frankly.
She didn't care enough.
She was like, meh, day player.
And then scenes with Dawn and a manifestation of Joyce. And so rather than bounce around through all of that, we are going to condense each two-person scene into one. So, like, we'll do the cold open like normal, and then we'll cover all of the Buffy and Holden stuff, and then we'll cover all of the Joyce and Dawn stuff, all of the Willow and Cassie stuff, so on and so forth. And actually, I think it's going to make this may be an under an hour episode, if I'm being honest.
It probably will be, if we don't stop and chew a little bit of fat here and there.
Right.
So, yeah. So, other than that, it'll be normal. So, I just wanted to let everybody know that ahead of time.
Yeah. There's a lot of jumping around in the episode, and it's not really worth it to cover it that way.
Quite frankly, it's annoying.
It is annoying. All episodes should be self-contained scenes between one or between two or more people that just happen all at once.
Yeah, I think everything, even if there's 13 characters in the episode, it should all be in one scene done at the same time.
Yes.
And every episode of every show should be like 10 minutes.
Yep. And
boom,
think
done.
Of how many more shows we could watch in a day.
Right? And think of how much cheaper it would be for the fucking production companies.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Come on, use your fucking head, Hollywood. Christ.
Jesus.
Okay, so now then, let's get back on normal track. I've already pretended that I cared and asked you how you were.
Wow.
No, I guess the only thing left to do is to ask us if you would
Let's hold on real quick. Earlier this week, I sent you the first two
a picture of. Let's not talk about what you sent me earlier this week.
And I mean, he's giving me Duncan vibes.
Listen, you know that I've kind of been on the fence from the get-go about this remake.
Yeah.
You know this quite well. Now, granted, there's only, a total of 2 still images that
right.
Mr. Cavill, that's what I call him, Henry Cavill.
I call him Henry because we're personal friends.
You're that tight? See, I don't care for him that much, so I just call him, Cavill. Yeah, there's a scene, the one scene where he's holding the katana, a little let down, quite frankly. I had this odd feeling that they're not going to focus on giving us cool, memorable, unique swords for the characters.
Right.
Which is a huge part of the Highlander universe, and is going to be a huge swing and a huge miss right out the gate. So, not caring for his look, because he looks like fucking Duncan from The Source. Not feeling that in the slightest. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. $100 million budget.
I feel like, so as we discussed, like I tried to zoom in on that sword pick, and it's way too hard to tell, like what I don't. My gut would tell me they're not going to go Dragon Head for the reboot.
Listen, that's fine. I'm not saying Dragon Head, but the swords are an integral part of the Highlander universe and the Highlander lore. And they should be, for the big characters, they need to be unique, cool, epic, look like something, not just look like some mall ninja bullshit they went and got at fucking Spencer's, So, right. If that's what they end up going with, that's going to take a huge portion of it away for me.
And I guess my point was that it's really hard to tell in that picture to
me, it looked very just run-of-the-mill fucking katana, and I didn't care for the fact that he was carrying it around in the scabbard. If the scabbard exists, that's fine, but it's something you shouldn't see. I don't know. I was, for a while there, I was very positive because Henry Cavill and Chad, the director, are supposedly massive Highlander fans and have been since their youths, and I thought, okay, and that's the whole reason supposedly they're doing this, and I thought, okay, fine, then they must know what they're doing. But I'm starting to question that, quite frankly, because that choice right there alone tells me that they don't get it,
Yeah.
So when the movie comes out, I'll wait to give my final judgment when it comes out, but I'm sure I will be thoroughly displeased.
As you are with most things.
As I am with most. Listen, I'm picky. I'm not going to bullshit. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or bullshit. If you're going to goddamn remake something from my goddamn childhood, or reboot it, or re-fingerfuck it, or whatever term they want to use, you better fucking, when you fucking do that, you better do it goddamn good, or I'm going to goddamn let you know that it ain't. And it's like, if you can't improve upon what was already there, leave it the fuck alone. Yeah. Like, what, are we going to reboot Gone with the Wind next and have it set in fucking 1980s Detroit and just fuck off. I'm just so sick of this bullshit. So anyway,
a 1980s Detroit set Gone with the Wind, I think I would watch that.
You would, because you were the least picky person I know. Like, they can spoon feed you fucking dog shit on a platter, and you will gobble it up, and you're like, "This is the greatest movie I've ever seen."
I don't know about all that. I think where we differ is that what's the best way to put it?
Stupid?
No. Like,
you're like no.
Like, obviously, I have nostalgia for, the things I grew up with. Masters of the Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Highlander. I didn't grow up with it, but it was it was a big part of my formative teenage years. But I think for me, I also have a tendency to look at it that if they're going to keep these franchises alive, then there's always going to have to be something that changes, or it can't always be made specifically to appeal to the audience from back then, because it also has to appeal to people now. So I think that's where our viewpoints differ in for certain things.
So I have a two-pronged answer for that. Prong number one, fuck audiences now. That's my first prong. Like, if you're going to reboot or remake something, the most important thing is to get the most important shit right. And I'm not saying everything, but the most important shit you need to get right, and it needs to please the fucking the old timers, the old schoolers who have been here since most of these cocksuckers were still in diapers. My other answer to that would be, I have no problem with changes, alterations, shifts, things of that nature when it makes sense and when it's absolutely necessary for the story to make it palatable for today.
Sure.
No problem. But far too often they do these insane changes, these insane alterations and whatnot that are utterly unneeded. Just utterly unneeded. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And it's almost like they do some of these things just to do it. Just to be like, hey, I put my spin on it. Well, your spin smells like cat urine. So maybe stop spinning on stuff. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah. And no, I get it. Like, sticking on the topic of the Highlander reboot, like, yes, to an extent, I agree with you. Like, the swords, especially for your main characters, should be almost characters in and of themselves. Like,
exactly.
Like, you should see the sword and be like, oh, that's a fucking cool sword. Like, I did the first time.
Iconic.
Right. Like, the first time I saw Duncan with his sword, I was like, oh, that's a fucking cool sword.
Right. The first time in the original movie, you see the Kurgan pop open the case, and there's his sword disassembled, which is ridiculous, but for movie purposes, awesome.
Right.
And then he fucking assembles it, and then he's in his fucking hotel room, like fucking doing some kata. You're just like, and
But I think beyond that, for me, if they manage to capture the essence and the feeling of Highlander, then for me personally, I'll be able to overlook something like that.
I won't be able to overlook that. Not the sword thing. Like, there's nothing they can do to make me overlook that. That'll if that's the route they go, that'll be an automatic, like, and I'm not joking, like an automatic 2 points off from out of 5. Like, no joke. There's plenty of other things they can either not even have in the movie or skip, like, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of quickly go through. There's lots of other stuff to me that they'll get away with me. Because I'm not looking for a shot for shot recreation of the original. I'm not looking for that. But I'm saying they have to maintain. There are certain aspects of the Highlander universe that they absolutely must maintain. And there's only, 3 or 4, maybe 5 things that they must maintain, or it's, to me, it's, nope, not interested. It doesn't exist to me. And I will now send my urine in a bottle to Henry Cavill.
Wow.
No, it's just, but no, really, that's my opinion, and because I'm the same. Listen, Highlander, Star Wars, Star Trek. Those are probably my top 3 fandoms on the planet, and this is why I utterly despised the Star Wars sequels, which I don't even consider them sequels, because other than having, oh god, let's not even get into that, but that's the reason that I shit all over those, because they were terrible, written by morons, produced by a she-whore, and yeah, so I'm really not as picky as it sounds like. It's like, listen, in these universes, you have certain things you must fucking abide by, that you must hit, that must be there and not drastically altered and not forgotten. And if those things are not there and they're not checked and etc., then you have failed, and I'm going to request you to kill yourself. That's just the way I look at it.
Well, and I don't begrudge you that.
Okay. Luckily, Kathleen Kennedy is retiring from Lucas Films. So maybe, just maybe, fingers crossed, we might start getting some Star Wars stuff that doesn't smell like the inside of a fucking fake leg. So, just saying. So, James.
Yes.
How would you feel about, gosh, what have we not done? How about air frying us some dates and deets?
Sure. As previously stated, we will be, wait, how are we going into this episode again?
Haunting.
Haunting, yes. We'll be haunting our way into Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 7, the 7th episode of the season, the 129th episode of the series overall, Conversations with Dead People. Our credited writers this week are Jane Espenson and Drew Goddard. And our credited director this week is Nick Mark. Our original air date was November 12th, 2002. Oh my goodness, excuse me. On the now,
I hate that director's name, by the way. I hate people that have 2 first names, as their last, like Nick Mark. It'd be like if your last name was John, James John.
James John.
That's like a porno name,
But so it's Nick Mark, but it's spelled like a last name, not like a first name.
I know, but it's still it's still, you hear right. Nick Mark. It's like those poor bastards, and I knew one in school, and I can't remember exactly. It's like those poor bastards who have a last name like Williamson, and their parents name them William. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, you can't be that stupid.
Right.
And then you meet them, and you realize, yeah, they were.
Yeah. On the now defunct UPN network, our Nielsen rating for this episode
69.
420.
6.7.
3.1, ranking it 96 out of the 137 primetime shows airing on network television that week, and number 2 out of the 10 primetime shows airing on UPN that week. Our regular cast open. Our regular cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brendan as Xander, Emma Caulfield as Anya, Michelle Trachtenberg as Dawn, James Marsters as Spike, and Allison Hannigan as Willow. Our guest stars this week include Danny Strong as Jonathan, Adam Bush as Warren, Tom Link as Andrew, Jonathan M. Woodward as Holden, Azura Sky as Cassie, and Christine Sutherland as Joyce.
He said Bush.
My synopsis this week reads...
Here we go.
The gang receives a wave of ominous visitations. Joyce visits daughter Dawn from beyond the grave. Buffy has a startling conversation with a vampire. Willow thinks Tara is trying to communicate with her.
And Spike is trying to lube up and assault Xander.
That's every episode, though.
True.
So.
My synopsis is much better and simply reads Buffy, the end. No,
Wow.
Buffy strikes up a conversation with a vampire who was once an acquaintance in high school. Dawn defends Joyce from a menacing creature. Which I don't really know that last little part is necessarily accurate, but I still think it's better than yours, which doesn't take much, let's be honest. I don't know where you get yours from, but generally speaking, they're always terrible.
Google. We've talked about this numerous times over the last 4
I
years.
don't think that I accept that. I think you're getting them from Shittle.
No, getting them from Google.
Shittle.com?
Nope, getting them from Google.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
That's what you've been told.
No, that's what I literally type into the old Google machine Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 7, and it brings up the list of episodes and episode synopses.
Well, okay, then we'll put it this way: you should be ashamed to bring these forth.
and yet I'm not. So we open on
our flies.
We open
our fly.
We open on a fly. No, we open in the bronze, and wait, where did I? Well, hold on a minute. Sorry, I lost my spot. Okay, so we open on the bronze, and we are told that it is November 12th, 2002 at 8:01 p.m. And we see that Spike is in the bronze drinking, and then we cut to Willow studying at the library, and Jonathan and Andrew returning to Sunnydale from Mexico, and Dawn arriving to an empty house. She finds a note from Buffy. But the note says something. I think it says went patrolling. Here's money for dinner. Don't order pizza. Something to that extent.
Yeah, no pizza underlined.
Yeah, and then we cut to Buffy, who is patrolling in one of Sunnydale's many cemeteries, and she kneels down to the ground to a freshly dug grave, and that's our cold open, basically.
No, that's not.
No? Okay, then...
A hand then pops out of said freshly dug grave, and she says, "Here we go."
Okay, and that's our cold open.
So try not to fail next time. Okay, so I will be covering the Buffy and Holden
of it all
interaction. So by the end of this, they will be married. Just FYI. So we come back and boom, the vampire rises from the grave, and they begin a vicious, bloody, bone-breaking karate fight. I liked how I wanted to bring this up. A couple of episodes ago, I think it was Anya. A couple of episodes ago, somebody brought up the fact that, like, hey, why is it every time as soon as they come up out of the ground, they know, like, kung fu and shit? And, you know, it's like, exactly. So, they go back and forth, and then there's a point where, the vampire, like, has a hold of her and kind of has her by the throat, and, he's, all of a sudden he stops, and he like, looks at her funny, and he backs up and he's like, Buffy? And she's like, Holden? And then they hug. Right. And it's really Partridge Family-ish. But he's like, Buffy? And she's like, yeah. And then he kind of he backs off and he's like, hey, it's Holden, you know, from high school. We used to have, I don't remember what class he said together, like, butt fungus together, and he's like, remember that time you cheated off my paper? And he keeps saying all this stuff, and she's like, and then finally he says something, well, I forget what it was specifically, but that kind of jogs her memory, and she's like, oh yeah, she's like, huge nerd that I never paid attention to. God, okay, hey,
yes.
No, so they kind of start kind of talking and you know, reminiscing, and she's like, she's like, so what you been up to? And he's like, well, I'm dead. I got murdered. She's like, yeah, sorry about that. And he's like, no, it's okay. Like, I feel really strong and really fast. And he's like, I'm really murderous feeling now. He's like, and feeling that I need to serve the Dark Lord for... It's really funny, dude. And he's all like, so why do you got that stake there with you? And so she kind of explains that even in high school, she was the Slayer. And he's obviously doesn't really get... He's like, Slayer? And she's like, yeah, you know, chosen one, blah, blah, blah. She kind of explains it to him, and he's like, you said the Slayer, not a Slayer? And she's like, nope, it's just me. I'm the only one. And I'm like, oh, are you? I kind of feel like that. I don't. I don't know. I kind of feel like another one. Yeah, feel like there might have already been another one before that.
Right. Feel like only one. I don't know. Feel like
kind of feel like maybe you're just lying a little bit. So he's like,
listen, just because she's locked up in a Los Angeles corrections facility doesn't mean she doesn't exist.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and it doesn't mean that fucking Kendra didn't exist, you know. And it's like, okay. So, so she explains that kind of to him, and he's like, oh, okay. And he has been at Dartmouth, doing psych. Getting, I guess, a psych degree. And he's like, you know, really liking that. Then he mentions he had been got really hardcore into Taekwondo there at Dartmouth. So I'm like, well, at least we finally have one of these guys with a backstory as to why they know fucking Kung Fu all of a sudden. And at one point, he's like, hey, do you remember, I forget the guy's name, Steve, the who's all like, hey, I'm crazy, and Buffy's like, oh yeah. She's like, whatever happened to him? And he's like, yeah, he's crazy. He's legit crazy. Because Holden here had taken a year off school to come and do a rotation at the Sunnydale crackpot house, the crazy, the loony bin, the crazy crackers, and apparently that was a bad idea to return to Sunnydale because he was clearly murdered and turned into a vampire.
Vampiro.
So they're having a lot of existential chit-chatting here. Holden kind of... He's one of those guys, man. He's one of those guys who's taken a couple of psych classes and all of a sudden he's a fucking shrink. and he's hitting her with all the Nietzsche and all the fucking, just all the textbook shit. Although he is kind of right on a lot of his takes, and there's one point, and then they start fighting again. He like sneaks up and like bashes her in the skull with a fucking like an effigy off one of the fucking tombs. Yeah, but then they stop again.
Yeah, their whole their whole scene total together. That's one of the reasons it's so funny, is because like they'll sit down and they'll have like these real deep psychological existential conversations, and then he'll randomly just start trying to kill her again.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This murderous rage is just boiling in me."
And like she's literally never the one that starts the fight. It's always him just randomly being like trying to kill her.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go through every single thing that they hit on there, but I do want to talk about one aspect of their conversation where he's trying to get her to understand, or not understand, but to realize that most of her issues stem from feeling lonely. Mm-hmm. But he ends up saying, yeah, so you have a superiority complex that with an attached inferiority complex. Because she goes on this little, not a rant, but she just says a few sentences there where she's like, yeah, and sometimes I just feel like I'm so superior to everyone and they just don't matter, and it's like it's just all about me and I'm the greatest, thing since sliced bread. And I was like, wow, at least we're finally getting, wow, like what a botch. And
just put it all out there, Buff. Jesus.
Yeah, and that's when he's like, whoa, you do have a superiority complex mixed with an inferiority complex. So
yeah.
So eventually he's like, all right, he gets up and he starts stretching. He's like, all right, let's finish our fight to the death. And then he brings up her past loves, and he finds out she's actually been with a couple of vampires, and he's like, wow, you really are fucked up. Like, I'm done. I just want to eat you. And so anyway, they and there's also a point where she's all like, she's like, I'm gonna win, and you're never leaving this cemetery. And he's like, you didn't hear the part about my taekwondo, did you?
Yeah.
And so true to what she had said, she dusts him. And she then, she marks that, she drops trowel, just pisses all over his dust. And she's like, now what, bitch? And it's like, whoa, that seems a little aggro.
It was pretty aggro. It was, yeah.
But then we cut to the Summers home, James.
Well,
and what ridiculousness is going on?
Lest we mention that prior to her dusting him, he mentions that Spike is the one who sired him.
Oh, yes, my bad. Yeah, he ends up telling her, she says something about Spike, and he's like, whoa, who? And then she's like, what, you know him? And he's like, yeah, he made me. And Buffy's like, what? He's like, yeah, he's my sire. And Buffy's like, that's it. Stab. And that's when she stakes him. And she used an extremely dull stake. It wasn't nice.
It wasn't. And it wasn't dull when she got there either, but she happens to mention Spike, and he's like, whoa, Spike, wait, what? And she's all like, you know Spike? And he's like, yeah, he sired me. And then she takes the stake and she shoves it on top of a crypt, just jams it in so that blunts it, and then she starts rubbing it back and forth to grind it down.
She's trying to start a fire, yeah.
Right, and then she just jams that dull shit right into his...
And right before he's like, oh my god, that is... Jesus Christ, that hurts so much!
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it did, didn't it?
She's like, yeah, that's why I did it, dumbass.
Yeah. She's like, I could have done this literally painlessly.
Right. So then, well, simultaneous, I should mention too that part of the reason we're doing it this way is because all of these scenes are literally taking place at exactly the same time.
Right, exactly.
So meanwhile,
at the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice. So over at the Sumer's home, we see that Dawn has defied her sister's direct orders and ordered pizza.
Of course she did, because she's a little bitch.
She's a little bitch. And she's eating
frankly,
pizza.
can I jump in just for a second?
Sure.
So Buffy, because we're going to have plenty of fucking time here in this episode, Buffy leaves her money for food. Right? Okay. So we're in agreement on that. What exactly did Buffy expect her to do with that money, if not get some type of carry-out, delivery, whatever?
Go to the grocery store?
Oh, okay, then why didn't fucking Buffy go to the grocery store and say, here's some food for you to eat?
That's a good question.
Like, I'm just saying, it's like, okay, I feel like Buffy understood that here's money equals you'll go to the double meat palace or whatever, but she's just like, but no pizza. If you're going to eat out, it must be deep fried and fatty.
Right.
I don't know. That seems silly to me. But
also, I did want to bring up the fact that not only does Dawn ignore Buffy's explicit directions not to order pizza, but she orders quite possibly the worst kind of pizza you can order. Anchovy pizza.
Yes, which I've never known anyone in my life who has ever said the words to me, I enjoy a good anchovy.
Right.
And I'm glad I didn't, because had I known that person, I would have had to punch them.
Right.
In the Adam's apple.
Right in the Adam's apple. So yeah, she's eating anchovy pizza that she wasn't supposed to order, and she's messing around with Buffy's weapons, and she's messing around with the crossbow, and she fires a crossbow bolt right into the wall.
It seemed to me like she did it on purpose, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, she locks and loads the fucking thing, and then she's all spinning around, and I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? That,
and then
what happens if I pull this trigger?
And then she tries to cover up the hole in the wall with a potted plant.
A plotted plant.
A big old tree.
Which is clearly plastic.
And she's trying on Buffy's clothes, and then she's talking to her friend Kit on the phone, and
it's actually Kit from Night Industries.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He's all like, Dawn, what are you watching?
Yeah.
Never mind. Only like 11 people got that. So.
And they're watching a horror movie, and
actually they're not. Fucking Dawn is, but Kit is apparently on a completely different channel, watching something with
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
Yeah. And then Dawn hears a series of knocks, and she tells Kit, there it is again, I'm hearing it again, and the lights go out, and the phone goes dead, and the TV inexplicably goes on, and it won't turn off. Dawn pulls the cord, and it still won't turn off, and she proceeds to have the biggest overreaction to this
like
event.
She has not lived in Sunnydale for the last 3 years of her 3-year life.
Right.
This is something that's just utterly earth-shaking.
Right. Not only that, granted, she really has only been alive for 3 years, but at the very least, she remembers at least 5 years of this shit.
Right. They've been in Sunnydale. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And she takes a fucking baseball bat to the TV.
Yeah, yeah. Never thinking, hey, this is our only TV, apparently.
So, as this is happening, some mysterious force begins to attack the house, and it's tearing everything apart and turning furniture, and there's lightning flashing, and in the flashes of lightning, we see Joyce dead on the couch, and eventually in the flashes of light, we see this dark form crouched over her, apparently keeping Joyce from communicating with Dawn. And Dawn believes that Joyce is trying to talk to her from beyond the grave, and this evil thing is trying to stop her, so she ends up performing some sort of exorcism ritual. And
where did she suddenly get these witch skills? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, anyone can perform an exorcism.
Yeah, but she's all like higgity haggity lickety lackety, and she's throwing fucking fart dust, and it's like, what is happening here? Dawn's the one who's bashing in TVs with fucking baseball bats, but now all of a sudden she's a tough ass witch, you know.
Eventually, Dawn drives off the evil spirit, and we see what is apparently Joyce's ghostly form, and she tells Dawn that something very bad is coming, and that when all is said and done, Buffy will not choose her. And that's the end of the Dawn and Joyce stuff for this episode.
And Dawn's like, choose me for what? Like kickball or
kickball? Like,
or she's not going to choose me to live? I mean, there's a lot of things in between there. What is she not going to choose me for? Like, you're a ghost. Why do you have to be vague and disappear? Why can't you literally just spell it out to me? You have nothing else to do, dead person.
Right.
Then, okay, so now, again, at the same exact moment, Jonathan and Andrew are tooting around in a car, a big old boat car, having returned from Mexico. And basically talking about making things right, that they need to do, you know, what they have to do to make things right, which you're like, okay. So they make their way to the school, which, okay, I'll just go with it. They make their way to the, like, how would they even know that there was a new school? Let alone when they get there, they're like, hey, we need to go down in the basement. How do you fucking know there even is a basement?
But because Andrew's being guided by the big bad.
Oh, that's right. Yes, because
all I said was Andrew's being guided by the big bad. That's all I said.
Warren is appearing to Andrew and helping him along, unbeknownst to Jonathan.
Right.
And he's like, now where do we go? And Warren's ghost or whatever is standing in front of the store, and Andrew's like, right there. And Jonathan's like, are you sure? And he's like, honestly, not 100%, but I feel like it's a good way to go. And so they go into this room, and they begin digging. Isn't this just interesting, James? They dig down about 13, 14 inches, and there's this giant like artifact basically in the ground.
Manhole cover.
Yes, there you go. A satanic manhole cover that was somehow missed in the construction of both schools.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I was like, how the fuck did nobody notice this?
Yeah, because
2 times they built a fucking school here and no one noticed this.
Yeah, because like I just said, it was literally about 14 inches deep.
Right.
So it's not like they had to dig down, 10, 12 feet to get to it.
Right. And not only that, but why is the floor in the school basement
dirt?
Just straight up dirt? They didn't have to jackhammer through any concrete or... Did they not lay a foundation for this fucking school?
Yeah, or footers or anything. It's I mean, we're going to have to suspend disbelief on this, but being nitpicky, this part is absolutely fucking stupid. Because think of the construction of the old school, think of its destruction, then think of them cleaning all that shit up and having to use, backhoes and earth movers and shit, and they're never like, so check this big old satanic manhole cover out,
Right.
It's somehow remained utterly undisturbed since apparently the dawn of time. But they have uncovered it. And Jonathan believes the plan is to do something to somehow disrupt this manhole cover and keep this big bad from coming, and that's how he thinks that they're going to save the day and redeem themselves, yada yada.
Right.
However, as I've said, Andrew is working in cahoots with Ghost Warren. And, Jonathan says at one point, he goes on this little tangent about how he actually misses school. And he misses the people that he, like the people that he did know, the people he didn't know, the people that liked him, the people that didn't like him, his enemies, his friends. He misses everybody. And then Andrew's like, hey, fuck you. Nobody likes you. No one misses you. And they never have. And I'm just like...
And they never fucking think about you.
Right. None of them have ever stopped to think, hey, I wonder what Jonathan's up to.
Right.
And Jonathan's just like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Andrew steps forward and plunges a huge dagger into Jonathan's midsection.
Let me ask you, right before Andrew stabs Jonathan, does it seem like Jonathan momentarily sees Warren? Did Ghost Warren make himself visible to Jonathan?
I would have to go back and look again because I didn't notice that.
Because I felt like Jonathan looked over Andrew's shoulder and kind of got this weird look on his face right before Andrew stabbed him.
Like, you son of a bitch! Yeah. Could have been. But Jonathan then falls on top of the satanic manhole cover, and his flowing blood begins to fill all the crevices, crooks, and crannies of this satanic manhole cover. And Satan ejaculates.
Satan ejaculates himself right out of
himself onto himself.
Satan ejaculates himself onto his own head, onto his own face, neck, and chest.
And Andrew gets hit with some shrapnel, and he's like, oh. Because it's Andrew. But yeah, so once again, fucking Andrew has proven to be, what is the term I'm looking? A massive piece of shit. This is the second time that he has in fact attempted to take Jonathan's life. Only this time he was successful.
Yep.
All for Warren, and I don't know what his... He had serious gay love for Warren.
He had so much gay love for Warren.
Because he doesn't realize that this isn't Warren. I mean, he thinks this is really Warren who let himself be killed because it's part of his grand plan. And
right.
It's okay. Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
For as smart as Andrew seems to be, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he is a fucking Moran. Okay? A Moran.
Yes.
And now we cut to UC Sunnydale Library.
Yes, simultaneously at the UC Sunnydale Library, Willow is studying, and she is visited by an apparition of Cassie, who we previously met a couple episodes
Whom
ago.
Willow did not meet.
Who Willow did not meet.
This whole scene got me from the beginning. I'm like, why? Of all the people, of all of them,
right?
Why choose Cassie to visit Willow?
Right. I might have some information regarding that once we're done here.
Because Cassie was already there on the lot. And
so, yes, she is visited by an apparition of Cassie, who we met just a couple episodes ago. And Cassie tells Willow that she was sent by Tara. She, Cassie tells Willow that Tara is talking about when they sang to each other on the bridge and Once More with Feeling, and Cassie tells Willow that Tara wants her to remember that she's strong like an Amazon, which was a conversation that Willow and Tara had back in the body. And Cassie is relaying that Tara misses Willow, and of course Willow is talking to Tara through Cassie and telling her that every day is hard without her is hard, and it's not getting any easier, and she misses her so much. And Cassie ends up telling Willow that Tara is telling her that she's going to end up hurting everyone she cares about and killing everyone she cares about unless she comes to be with Tara. Basically, apparition Cassie is trying to get Tara to unalive herself.
Yeah, she's like, hey, so you could kill yourself?
Right. She's like, so, if Tara says, and she's just spitballing here, she's just throwing pasta against the wall to see if it sticks. She says that, if you really miss her and you really don't want to kill everyone
and you really love her,
then you could just slit your wrists, not a big deal.
Yep.
At which point Willow is like, wait a fucking minute. I don't even know you.
Yeah.
No,
we have literally never seen one another in continuity.
Right. No, Willow suddenly is like, well, wait, this isn't right. None of this makes sense. This doesn't sound like Tara. I don't believe Tara would, ever say these things to me. And Cassie is like, well, I had you going for a while there, though, didn't I? And Cassie's like, well, I'm done with balance and good versus evil, and that's all over, and I'm going to make sure that you and all of your friends suffer. And she utters a phrase that in the first 7 episodes has already become almost unbearable to hear. From beneath you, it devours. And then she unhinges her jaw and reverse eats herself.
Reverse eats, dude. He's and okay. It was pretty good for 2002 television effects.
It was a great effect.
But B, it seems like it was a little over the top.
Yes.
Like, couldn't she just been like Q and been like, and disappeared, but whatever? But no, she's like, like, God damn, that hurts so bad.
Especially because, spoiler warning, in a couple episodes, this same character does disappear, just like you just said, just like Q, and disappears in a little poof of light.
Yeah. Like, of all the ways to go, seems a little over the top.
And then, at the same time, all this other stuff is happening. We catch up with Spike in the Bronze, and what's happening there, Jeremy?
He is propositioning a trucker in the parking lot. He's trying. He's been staying with Xander, and he ain't got no money, and he needs some cold hard cash. So he's decided to become a lot lizard. And there's a trucker out there, and he's like, "Hey, mate, I love sucky."
Yeah.
The trucker's like, I do like that bleach blonde hair, and you do got a pretty mouth. And Spike's like, "Oi, I do." And bam. A love story begins. No, he's sitting at the bar, which, again, now that the characters are like grown up and adults, they present the Bronze much more as a just straight up hardcore fucking bar than what they did back in the day. So Spike is sitting at Le Bar, and he's hammering some whiskey. Again, I'm questioning where he's getting his money from. Because he was always broke. He was always coming to them like, "Hey, I'll sell you some information," or "I'll go do something really dangerous if you give me like $50, shit like that." But
right.
Anyway, he's sitting there pounding some fucking, I'm going to assume it's some really cheap fucking swill. And then some blonde chick walks up and like puts a pack of cigarettes down in front of him, and I'm like, was that like a thing in the early 2000s that I'm unaware of? Like, if you're a woman and you're hitting on a guy at the bar, you put a pack of cigarettes in front of him, or does that have like a thing?
I don't know.
So, but it's because he looks at him and then he looks at her like, 100%, baby. like they had this, like they've had this. I don't know. It was weird. So he he accompanies her. Basically, they head out of the bar, and they're having a really deep talk about the colors that Picasso used in a lot of his later paintings in life, and what it represented in the overall scheme of his art. And then he just turned into a vampire and drank her and drops her dead on the sidewalk. And that is the episode.
Yes. Some behind the scenes info. Because of her appearance in this episode, Christine Sutherland becomes the only person to appear as a guest star in all 7 seasons of Buffy.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So in other words, for 7 years of this show, she was never considered important enough to be a full cast member.
Yeah. Where was I? So some other storylines considered for this episode were for Hal Frick to be haunting Anya, but Kaylee Rocha was unavailable. And I really like this idea. There was talk of bringing back. This is going all the way back to Welcome to the Hellmouth and The Harvest, the first 2 episodes of the series. Do you remember Jesse?
Yes, I do.
Xander and Willow's friend.
Yeah.
There was apparently talk of bringing him back to talk with Xander.
But by this time, that actor had already became really addicted to drugs. So
True. He
was unavailable.
This is one of 2 episodes in all 7 seasons where the episode title appears on screen at the beginning of the episode, the other one being Once More with Feeling. This is the only episode with a specific date and time given in the beginning of the episode, which coincidentally was the same date and time that the episode aired. And now to the Willow Cassie of it all. Apparently, Amber Benson was initially going to appear as Tara, but she ended up turning it down because she thought having Tara return as a villain would ruin the character. But
I think all these years later we know the real reason.
But according to the writers, they simply maintain that Amber Benson just wasn't available for the episode.
Yeah, and like I said, I think we know what back then they didn't talk about it, but I think we know now what the truth is.
This is the only episode that Nicholas Brendon doesn't appear in.
No wonder I liked it so much. No wonder it's getting a 5.
What else? That's it. That's all I've got. Jeremy, our music for this episode: Angie Hart with Blue, Scout with The Never Never, Los Cubas Tecas with Nicolito, and our original score by Little Bobby Dunks. Jeremy, would you like to play everyone's favorite game, Body Count?
Hey, Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
And what's his face? So 2.
3.
The vampire. What?
And the woman that Spike killed.
Fuck my ass. Damn it.
Jeremy, could you do me a favor? And on our sliding scale of 1 to 5, can you please tell me and our audience how many? What the fuck? Why would that person appear to Willow as an apparition? Do you give this episode?
Well, I'm going to give this one a 3.5. What the fuck? Why would that person appear to Willow on our sliding scale of 5?
I like that you did the what the. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I think this episode was not too many swings away from being, like top-notch episode. There were a few misses and I think a couple of missed opportunities that kind of knocked it down. But it was very well written. It was very. There weren't any points where you're like, oh, fuck, this is so. It wasn't like The Pack where you're trying to cut your wrist with your your comb.
Right.
It was pretty damn good. And I think we kind of went over in our, some of the things that took away from it. Like, had they gotten Amber Benson back to be Tara, and I disagree with their notion of let's bring her back and make her taunt Willow and be mean. And no, they should have brought her back and had her act just like Tara would act. Had they done that, this would be a motherfucking 5 episode. Like, this would be one of those must-watch must-see episodes.
Right. Because
it would have wrecked Willow.
Right, because then you can still play it like the scene happened with Tara.
Just like it.
Right, and like Tara's being Tara with Willow, and then suddenly there's the little subtlety of, well, you know, if you really don't want to hurt everyone you care about, and if you really miss me so much,
you should drink paint.
Then you could come be with me. And Willow would still have that, like, wait a minute, something's not right here, you know? Tara would never ask me to do that, you know? Right.
And so, yeah.
You do that every time.
I know. I know. I don't know why. Listen, I've always said, Tara and Anya are a couple of my favorite characters in the cast.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, if they had done that, dude, that would have made this one of those fivers that's a must-watch episode. I liked Jonathan and Andrew being back. I kind of feel like Jonathan didn't get a proper send-off. The other thing I'm thinking is they shouldn't have done it this route. Andrew and Jonathan should have come back with good intentions and trying to make amends. They together should have joined the Scoobies after a while, after they were, you know, earned trust and stuff and filled out the Scooby gang. So I think that's a missed opportunity. Killing Jonathan, I think, was a missed opportunity because he's a good character on this show.
Right, and he's been there since the beginning.
Beginning, and I don't feel like his death didn't serve any purpose, really. Like, he could have killed a homeless dude off Fifth Avenue, you know, to put the blood on the giant queef seal. So, right. Yeah, to me, so those are some of the things that take away from it for me. But it's still a solid 3.5. I can't give it a 4, but I also don't want to just give it a 3. I'm trying to show that it's almost a 4.
Sure.
So it's a 3.5, and finally we got us in my opinion, got us a solid, enjoyable episode. We only had to get 7 in.
Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, I think the season starts to pick up here.
It does, yeah, it absolutely does. I agree, because I remember when the episode first started, I was like, and we saw Jonathan and Andrew. I was like, okay, now shit's ramping up. Okay, we're about to get the big reveal of who the big bad is, and you know, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, now shit's gonna start getting good. Now there are still, if I remember correctly, some stinkers this season, but overall, yes, it does ramp up from here. So anyway, James.
Yes, sir.
On our sliding scale of 1 to 5, tell me and our fabulous audience, how many seals of Dancelthar do you give this episode, and why?
I give this episode 4 seals of Dancelthar.
Okay.
Everything you said, like this episode had the potential to be a 5, in my opinion. Yep. But because of certain things, it bumped it down to a 4. And those things being, they should have, come hell or high, man, promise her, put it in her 1-day contract that Joss Whedon isn't going to set fucking foot on the set, or whatever. You know, you get Amber Benson back for that scene.
Yep.
Get Amber Benson. And if you can't, then you figure out something else to do. Like, yep. I think bringing back Jessie...
You fucking AI her and you make her be there.
I think bringing back Jessie after all that time to talk to Xander or even Willow would have been phenomenal. Like, a great callback to the very beginning of the series here in, you know, the final throes of the end of the series. But yeah, so not having Amber for that scene really knocks it down. And then, like you said, I think, like...
Wasting Jonathan.
And I hate to refer to him this way, but Jonathan's kind of like a legacy character.
He is.
The show. Like, he's been there since season 1, on and off. Not constantly, but
in some pretty prominent episodes.
Right. So I think the handling of him, the way they did, really just kind of knocks it down the rest of the way from a 5 to a 4.
Yep.
That being said, spoiler alert, we get some really good stuff from Andrew going forward.
Oh yeah.
But I do think Jonathan as a legacy character kind of gets really shafted here.
I wanted to say really quick, because I forgot to say it when it was my turn, so I'll take your time. The other thing that takes points away from this episode for me, honestly, and I know I say this a lot, but it's the Dawn stuff. Like, her scenes are not good. It's way hella melodramatic. She destroys her fucking house with no regard for, like, this is my fucking house. You know, and I'm just not a fan of her acting, and I never have been or probably ever will be. And I don't know if it's direction she's getting from the directors or whatever, but they have always got her so over the top ridiculous, and her ear piercing screams that are unnecessary as shit. And yeah, so that's the other thing that took away some points.
So it's really those things for me that really knocked it from a 5 to a 4. Otherwise, like you said, the writing is great. It's a solid episode. I just, like I said, Amber or Tara instead of Cassie in that scene, man, that really would have skyrocketed it. I would have even overlooked the Jonathan thing and still given it a 5.
Probably, if they had gotten Amber Benson, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I still would have brought it up and complained about it.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
I just think it's a waste of his character.
Yeah.
And my other thing is still, though, why Cassie with Willow?
Right.
That's just such a weird. That's just such a... Because even when she sees her, she's like, oh, hey, I think I know you. Like, it's like, so instantly, they have no connection.
Right.
Like, you know, it's...
It because they used someone that we hardly knew and that Willow didn't know at all.
Right.
You lose some of the
impact. It diminishes that impact, you know?
Right, yeah. That scene's supposed to have, so...
Hell, they could have used the witch dude, that moved his place around all the time, that helped her get all dark and fucking... But I'm saying, even somebody like that, there's way more of a connection with those two, you know?
Right.
And he could have been all, you know, esoteric and, you know...
Hell, this is going to sound strange, but I really want you to think about it after I say it. It could have been Warren.
Yeah? Oh, dude! Yeah! Yeah, like him being like, you fucking bitch. Like, listen, I get it, okay? You murdered me because I murdered your girlfriend. But you ripped my fucking skin off, bitch. Right. Like, fuck. Like, you know.
Or like, the way I would have played it if they had gone with the Warren route is have it be like, you know, I'm here to deliver messages to you from Tara because
it's my curse.
Or now that I'm dead, I am trying to make some sort of amends for the wrongs I did while I was alive.
Yeah.
You know, and then have it segue into the, you know, maybe if you just...
Yeah, maybe if you just, you know, a little bit of...
Right. Like,
oh, listen, have you ever thought about self-flaying?
Right. I mean,
You could use that same spell, except on
just-
yourself.
I hear bleach is pretty tasty. Glug glug.
Yeah. You ever think about drinking, I don't know, a gallon of paint?
So yeah, I mean, right there, just outside of bringing Amber back as Tara, right there is a better choice than Cassie, in my opinion.
And he was already on set working anyway.
Right.
You know? Have him... It's kind of like having Warren as the big bad again, you know?
Right.
And and he's a great actor, and he did a great job as being a sleazeball ass bag.
Yeah. So
anyway, yeah, there you go. That's James and I's take on it, and that's our rewrite that, frankly, Hollywood should call us about.
Hollywood should. Hey, Sarah Michelle, I know you watch. I know you watch the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Give us a ringy ding for the new show.
Smug.
We'll help you out.
Give us a call, Smug.
Yeah,
Give us a call, Smug.
We'll help you out. You have your people reach out to our people.
Listen, your peeps, our peeps. We got you. We got you covered.
But only as long as I can write it from home. As long as I don't want to have to.
Yeah, I'm not coming to California. That's
no.
That's never going to happen, frankly.
I'll write it and I'll email it off to somebody at the studio.
Yeah, we can even have a couple of those stupid, useless Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, what's the term? I'm not like giving it my all or anything. So.
Right. No.
Let's not get ridiculous.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So that wraps up that. What do I normally do from here, James? Do I masturbate or?
I mean, I can't tell you what you do once we're done recording, but before we're done recording, you usually tell us what episode we're gonna. What are you doing?
I'm fingering my butthole.
That's what I thought. But,
oh no, I don't. No, I don't. I talk about the website.
Oh yeah.
Which is, of course, BuffyRevisited.com.
It is.
Which has links to everything else that has to do with us. Our email, which is BuffyRevisited@gmail.com, has a link to our YouTube page, so you can watch the video version of this podcast if you aren't already. And nothing else will be mentioned because it might be gone soon. So,
it's gone.
Oh, it's gone. You.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the very least, I'm not updating it anymore.
Okay, then I have to delete it from my end because it's attached to my my profile.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I will delete it. So never mind. You heard nothing, people. So yeah, BuffyRevisited.com. James, guess what we're doing next week?
Are we going to revisit Sleeper?
No.
No? Oh, okay. What are we doing next week?
We're going to masturbate.
You might be on your own for that one.
Hey! Come on now. There's nothing... Listen. Mutual masturbation amongst friends is perfectly acceptable.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to amend my previous statement. I said you might be on your own for that one. I'm just gonna go ahead and say you're going to be on your own for that one.
Wow, you were a hater, James. You were a hater. Yes, next week we will be getting into Season 7, Episode 8, Sleeper, which is obviously about a werewolf.
Obviously.
Because, listen, werewolves enjoy sleeping.
Right.
So, do you have any final words, James, before you are taken to the block?
No.
No. Not for King and Country or anything like that, huh?
No, sir.
All right. Well, once again, thanks for joining us this week, everyone. And we will be back next week for Season 7, Episode 8, Sleeper. Till then, I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.
Turns with a falling star.